Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Go for a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
The holidays are about spending time with your loved ones and creating magical memories that will last a lifetime. So whether it's family and friends you haven't seen in a while, or those who you see all the time, share holiday magic this season with an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Copyright 2024, The Coca-Cola Company.
Baking Hershey's Kisses Peanut Butter Blossoms is the perfect way to celebrate the holiday season with friends and family. With their classic, rich, creamy milk chocolate taste, there's no better way to heartwarm the holidays than by baking with Kisses chocolates. Find Hershey's Kisses holiday chocolates at your favorite retailer.
Welcome to another episode of But Am I Wrong? Starring two people who have not once ever been wrong. And these two people are also feeling very festive, very holly, very jolly.
Jolly Christmas. First time of the year.
It took me a while to understand the words. So, welcome to another episode of But Am I Wrong? Starring two people who have not once ever been wrong. And this is a lovely, wonderful podcast starring us, Meghan and Melisa, where we talk about when we're wrong, when you're wrong, when other people, third parties who have no idea we exist, or maybe do, when they are wrong. So we have 3 segments on this, and we will explain each one of them before the respective segment, but we won't overload you with all the details. But what you need to know is we want you to participate. So obviously you can, nominate things you want us to talk about, just like slide into our DMs and say that, tag us in something, comment. But most importantly, we want you to vote on who you think was wrong in each segment on this episode. So over on our Instagram, we post stories that have polls on them that you can vote. They were wrong, they were not wrong. And then use those little phalanges, type, and comment about why you voted the way you did. And I promise you, unless it is like the KKK is wrong and you're like, no, here's why they're not wrong. There is only so few problematic things, or like, I hate gay people, that, then we're going to roast you. But if we have differing opinions for a lot of the stuff we do, it's like, hee hee ha ha, funny, lighthearted. There are no hard feelings. Even though we are bitches, we're not sensitive. I guess to hop into our first segment, it is But Am I Wrong? Where we pitch to one another either a circumstance, situation we found ourselves in that we want to know if we're in the wrong about, or a rant, a hot take, or just something that we desperately need to discuss or put out into the world. My hot take is that I need more fake accents in the world. We have... Case closed, exactly. Thank you. And actually, that is just a minion. We have so many white women. Alabama Barker, Bad Baby.
Don't know who that is. Don't know. Oh, wait. Bad Baby is the one that...
Cash Me Outside.
Yeah.
Alabama Barker is Travis Daughter's daughter.
Travis Barker's daughter?
Yeah.
What does she do?
She goes live and she does her makeup. And she
Don't know who she is.
has wigs and she gets sew-ins and
Oh.
So we're getting
Where
to
does
that
she
part.
live? In Atlanta?
No, Melissa, she lives in Calabasas,
California?
Hidden Hills, girl.
I didn't know she had
Born
moved.
and raised. No. They grew up next door to Courtney.
I know. I didn't know if she had made a move.
No. So those 2 examples, and hey, there are thousands of others, use an accent that is not their own. They favor a black accent. And I say, why not pivot to something as equally implausible and geographically confusing? Why not something like an incredibly thick Midwestern accent, or Ohio, or hell, Alabama? Get down to your roots. Nope, not this California, Los Angeles born and bred roots. Why not throw in Alabama accent.
Alabama has about 3 different accents, though. Don't choose the black accent one.
This is what I'm saying. The code switching.
Homebreed. Remember
we can
that
see.
girl? That was an Alabama person.
Was she Alabama? I thought it was Baltimore. That's wild. So this for me started because there's this country artist who I know nothing about except for.
Why are you always bringing up country artists?
No, this is what I've been wanting to talk about. Oh, facts. Actually, I didn't realize I was doing that. I knew nothing about her except I would see when people would do like try on hauls or like talk about clothes or whatever. I would always see people like, oh my God, or like any woman, it would be comments being like, oh my God, you got that Lainey Wilson dumpy. And I was like, what? And then always the blue search would be Lainey Wilson dumpy. And I was like, what the fuck? And then finally one day I clicked it and she's just some country singer, I guess, who like had a fat ass. And I do say had because she had, it's gone. And people were like, I guess I know nothing about her. And that was the only time she'd ever crossed my radar. And then she was on a podcast that I listened to and she started speaking. And it did occur about a month or so after I watched a TikTok of a white woman from the South, who was talking about Mama Tot and was talking about, hey, white girls who don't live in the South, if you hear a white woman with this accent, that's not real.
Fake. Yep.
And so as soon as I heard Lainey Wilson's accent, I said, whoa, I've actually never heard this is stronger than all of the examples the other person had used. Like it blew my mind. And I was like, there's no way this is real. And I looked it up and she like gets very upset when people accuse her of not having a real accent. And she was like, just listen to like my whole family speak. And I tried to find videos. I couldn't find a lot of videos for whole family speaking. So like, yeah, provide the evidence here. And then we think of something like Michaela Nagura. I think that's how you say her name on TikTok. Michaela, I don't know I think that might just be her username. But she has a very thick Boston accent. Now, both people from Lainey Wilson's hometown, as well as Michaela's hometown, say, nobody here speaks like this. This is not the accent that we have here. And I think there's actually nothing funnier than someone just like throwing on an incredibly thick Boston accent just to film like a video of them like reviewing concealer. Like, I'm like, okay, of all the accents to pick, if we're not going to do one we were born and raised with, if you want a method act like that, okay, sure, go for it. And maybe we're not getting in as deep into the conspiracy theory of Hilaria Baldwin, but if Hilaria Baldwin instead had just faked...
Isn't she from Boston?
Great point, because she could just do a Boston accent and that would be more believable. And if she wanted to go wild,
right? Yeah, she's from Boston.
Do a thick Jersey accent. Like, there are so many other ways you could do this. And like, I am so partial to the Midwestern accent. I think it is so fun. I think it is so, like, I love it. And I just say, why don't we pivot?
I think it would be hilarious.
And more believable.
Yeah. I like it. You're not wrong.
Thank you. And I love an accent. I want everyone to know that like this is not like a knock.
Especially love a Midwest accent.
I'm obsessed. So like this is not a knock to like anyone who has like a real, true, earnest, honest accent. It is just the absolute pointlessness for people to fake ones that I do find hilarious. And when we're doing this within the continental United States and it is not mimicking or appropriating any other vernacular or culture, pick that one. That's funny.
You know, I did see somebody make a comment about Travis Barker earlier today, and I didn't know he had a daughter. I had no clue what it was talking about. I was like, maybe it's like an ex-wife. I don't know. But now it makes sense.
Was it Mecca's video?
Perhaps.
Mecca made an incredibly funny
makes
video.
2 million videos a day.
She said, she was like, to my white girls with black sense, and I think she said black sense and bust downs. She was like, this video is for you and only you. Now, we don't always see eye to eye.
That is what it was.
I need you to be wary. Someone is seeking you out. And like, we can discuss the bust down and the black scent at a later date. But like, just know right now, you are in danger. Yeah, there is drama right now between, and I don't even want, it's not drama because it's like, that sounds trivial. But between Alabama and BAIW, they share a really horrible guy.
All right, we're going to take a break, and when we get back, we'll get into mine.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Shifting a little money here, a little there, and hoping it all works out? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can be a better budgeter and potentially lower your insurance bill too. You tell Progressive what you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll help you find options within your budget. Try it today at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
We are so excited to let you know that this podcast is brought to you by Thrive Cosmetics. Now, we are slowly but surely inching our way into fall in Los Angeles. And I mean inching.
So slowly.
So slowly.
Maybe millimetering. Is that a thing?
Yeah, I think so, because when I look outside, I go, oh my God, look at all these brown, crispy leaves that have fallen to the ground and they're crunchy and I can prance around in them, except for not too long because it's still 85 degrees out.
Right.
You know, it's that. So I have to find other ways to get excited for fall, like my makeup. And for me, I have been keeping it very simple, especially on my off days when I'm not filming. And even if I am filming, I'm like dialing it back, doing something very simple like mascara and a lip tint, which is exactly what I'm wearing today. And you guys can't see me, but you should know I'm wearing the ad that we're talking about. So thank you, Thrive.
She looks good. And when we got on camera, I was like, what have you been doing today? Because I know we rarely leave our homes.
Yeah, and I didn't leave my home. I just happened to have a little fun at my makeup desk.
And Thrive inspired that. I, as y'all know, fall. Y'all know that I am a person that's like, we don't talk about fall until it's fall. And now is it officially fall? Then we can talk about it. And I can talk about how much I am looking forward to switching up my summer routine for makeup and moving into more autumn-inspired creations. And Thrive makes that possible.
Thrive Cosmetics beauty products are certified 100% vegan and cruelty-free, made with clean, skin-loving ingredients, high-performance and trademarked formulas, and uncompromising standards. And it's easy to see why their best sellers have thousands of 5-star reviews.
We were sent some beautiful shades, including their precision lipstick crayon that we received. The color is called Stephanie. It looks amazing on me. It is like a brownish red color. I'm not a technical person. Thrive they're the professionals. They provide it. I see it. I like it. I wear it. It's fantastic. They also have their liquid lash extension mascara. Not only does it last all day, it doesn't clump. There's no smudging. There's no flaking. You look like you're wearing lash extensions without having to go to the salon and getting them put on.
And it completely comes off so easily with water, which is something that, as someone who has been a till death do us part waterproof mascara kind of girl, usually I have to soak my eyelashes and my eyelids for about 5 minutes every night. And then when I wake up in the morning, I still look like a raccoon. And I'm like, and I got to do it again in the morning. So knowing that I can have that great long lash, voluminous and lengthened look, and then washing it off just as easy with water, it sounds like a dream. And it's got nourishing ingredients that help support longer, stronger, and healthier looking lashes over time. TBT to that time I was curling my lashes on your couch and they got stuck, and then I broke off half my lashes and I was like, oh, we can't actually talk about this. And you're like, it's fine, we'll pretend it never happened.
And I forgot it happened until right now.
I thought it happened again the other day. And that was pre-Thrive. So thank Thrive Cosmetics. Now I'm gonna be set. These lashes are not going anywhere.
Great. I love that. Not only does Thrive provide excellent products, Thrive also donates to 8 major causes, including those impacted by cancer, domestic abuse, and veteran and education organizations.
So brighten up your fall look with Thrive Cosmetics, luxury beauty that gives back. And right now you can get an exclusive 20% off your first order at thrivecosmetics.com/blame. That's Thrive Cosmetics, CAUSEMETICS.com/blame for 20% off your first order.
For many businesses, the holiday season can be both an exciting and stressful time. With so many balls in the air, one thing you definitely want to know you can rely on is how you're selling your products. And with Shopify, you can rest easy knowing it's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. And when it comes to successful brands like Aloe, Allbirds, or Skims, an often overlooked secret is all the things that go on behind the scenes that make selling and for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, if you take a peek behind that curtain, you'll see that Shopify is what makes it all possible. Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%. So that's more happy customers and way more sales going. It's true all the time, but especially this time of year, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use for Realm merch with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
We are back, and it's your turn.
It's my turn. Mine is, we talk about polls on this show because we take polls. But I would like to talk about polls in a different way. Sliding down North Poles. Or
You're a pervert.
Megan's face.
I never know where you're going.
Or going into ice cold caves that are warm inside.
Keep talking.
Megan is perplexed. So am I, because I am talking off the dome. But I wanted to do a holiday inspired, but am I wrong? Much like I've done a Thanksgiving one in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But too many, I feel like holiday traditions, there's too much where people are so precious about the things they do. So I didn't want to go too much into it. So I decided that I would land on the topic of everyone should be ho-ho-hoing for the holidays. So by that, I mean, be a hoe. I saw a man's shirt. I was walking at the promenade in Rogers, Arkansas. And he said that, and his shirt said Santa's favorite hoe. And I want everyone to really embrace that and be Santa's favorite ho ho. I want you to remember that person from high school that you wanted to hook up with and you never did. And you find out that they're still single and you're like, this is my chance. Go for it.
Do you have something to tell me? Did you do this?
I did not. There's nobody in high school that I have any.
I know. That's what I was a little like, whoa, who?
No. Not me. I'm not talking about from person. That's what makes it. Yeah.
Oh, you just want other people
I want other
to
people
get
to do
dicked
it
down.
so I can hear the stories. Because that's what makes it, a hot take, because I'm not doing it.
No, you're just influencing the rest of the people.
Yes. I want you to find that person. I want you to go out to a bar, find some random hottie, hook up with them.
Find somebody sexy, tell them, hey. Yep. Who sings that song?
Neo.
Yeah.
I hate him. He's transphobic.
Yeah, he's shitty.
What else? You also brought him up last episode.
Yeah, because he performed on a pop-up stage at a fucking college football game that I think that I don't think they even invited him. Like, I've never seen someone so washed up in their career. It was crazy, and he was so sweaty. That's why.
If you live in a college town like I do, I want you to go to a basketball game, make eyes with one of the players. After the game, stick around in the tunnels and take them to your tunnel. If you
pick a player who is actually, first of all, looking back at you. Have you seen that video of that woman?
I said make eye contact with them, not that one where that woman thought that LeBron James was.
Yeah, and she said, oh my God, he
her.
is obsessed with me.
Not even in the least.
Nope.
He's like, why is this woman filming me excessively? I want you to go have your whole Hallmark hoe moment. I want you to make it nasty, though. I don't need you to
make it naughty.
Naughty, nasty. I don't need you to go and like have this sweet moment. I want you to get your back blown out. I want you to get your stockings hung on the chimney, if you know what I mean. I want you to get your marshmallows roasted. I want you to have those nuts on an open fire.
Are we sure that this combination of vitamins isn't making you horny? Because this straight off the dome is impressive. Like, I don't think I could come with it. Like, Sabrina, you need to get on that Sabrina Carpenter writing team. Like, the amount of Christmas euphemisms. You've heard her Christmas song, right?
I don't think, no, I'm going to watch the special.
I don't know if she does it in the special, but she has a nonsense Christmas, and it is literally her song, Nonsense, but it is all just now dirty euphemisms that like fucking and Santa.
Love it. I know that Santa comes once a year, but I want you to come at least 3 times with this rando.
Yes. Can I say, I also want some of you to not, like, you could, yes, fuck someone who in high school you always wanted to fuck. Also, maybe fuck an enemy.
Yeah, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Get that candy cane. Wrap that tongue around that candy cane.
Make a
Make
small
it
weapon out of it. And then make your mouth bleed.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Get that stocking stuffed. I want all this for all of you. Ho,
Get
ho,
that
ho.
eggnog.
That creamy eggnog. Ho, ho, ho. And Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Happy Hanukkah and Christmas fall. The first day of Hanukkah falls on the same day of Christmas this year.
My nephew's about to be unbearable.
Get your candles lit. Get your dreidel spun.
Here's the thing. This is the spot where I could definitely step in with some more euphemisms. I'm not doing it. Nope. 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 Oh my God. Well, hey, you guys heard the lady. Spread them. And hop on that sleigh.
Thank you very much. Have a great day. See you on Thursday.
Well, you're remarkable. Absolutely.
All right, we're going to take a break. And when we get back, we'll get into But Are You Wrong?
For over 50 years, Burlington's legacy has been great deals on coats for all weather conditions. So before you're caught unprepared for the winter weather, head to Burlington for name brands, quality items, and surprising fits for every family member. Stock up on coats, sweaters, and accessories before the cold hits, so you can finally stop avoiding the elements and start living comfortably. Warm up at your nearest Burlington location less than 1 mile away. Burlington. Deals, brands, wow.
Come to me.
Focus Features invites you to succumb to the darkness.
Nosferatu.
From director Robert Eggers comes a masterpiece of horror.
He is coming. This creature is a force more powerful than evil. It is death itself.
Nosferatu. Rated R. Under 17nm without parent. Only in theaters Christmas Day. Special engagements in Dolby and IMAX.
This year, Santa's bringing the power of Energizer into his workshop.
Whoa, the Energizer Bunny's got so much power.
Wait, he's powered up all the toys. I think that means we're done for the year.
I love this bunny.
He's the hardest working helper the North Pole has ever seen. And he wants all your gifts to have the power of the #1 longest lasting AA battery. So this holiday season, stock up on Santa's and the elves' favorite battery, Energizer Ultimate Lithium.
We are back.
Now it's time for But Are You Wrong? That's when y'all write in with predicaments in your life and we put it up to vote if you were wrong in the situation.
If you want to write in, you can submit it to butamiwrongpod@gmail.com. Keep it under 300 words. Please let us know your actual age. Like, not just that you're over 18, because you obviously have to be over 18, but like your actual age. And use pseudonyms. It is all fake. And then tell us the predicament that you found yourself in that you would like to know if you are wrong about. Hey, Meghan and Melissa. I am wondering if I was wrong to leave my boyfriend based on the information I got from a friend. So for context, my best friend never liked my boyfriend and never really said why. I left it where it was as her opinion has always been on the jealous side. A couple weeks ago, she saw him out at a coffee shop with an unknown girl and sent me a picture. When I confronted him, he promised it was platonic and just a friend from college he was catching up with. He said he didn't tell me because it was insignificant. I moved out that day. I didn't give him much time to explain, and a few weeks later, I started to regret it. Am I wrong for not giving him a chance to explain, especially with me knowing my best friend is known for being jealous? I saw a post on Reddit that was like almost exactly this, except they didn't break up immediately. I need to know how old you are.
Because it could have just been like they ran into each other and then they sat down and caught up. Like, I think you give some explanation, like you allow him to give some explanation. It could be a bullshit explanation, but at least you hear him out first before you just break up with him.
I also want to know why your best friend is like, what's the categorization of jealous that your friend has? Because I mean, I agree with you. I think that like the only thing for me is like him saying like, oh, I didn't tell you because it was like so insignificant. If it was planned and like he told you he was like off running an errand or like he was at work and he was doing this instead, like if there was another story that he told you that he was doing and then it was this and it's like, oh, well, I didn't tell you because I thought it was insignificant, or like I didn't tell you because I thought you'd react this way. To me, that is very different than like running into someone that you see, or you're like, oh my God, hey, like so good to see you. Or, you know, whatever, you're working there in the coffee shop by yourself and then someone walks in who you see. Or if he said, I'm catching up with a friend from college and he didn't specify that it was a woman, I don't think that makes him evil or, you know, manipulative either. I think there would need to be a lot more to back that up. But I kind of think if you just immediately moved out and like didn't even like let him explain, like I don't think that is a move that you would do if there wasn't a part of you that felt like this was true.
Right, because this is such a big move to make. It's not just like breaking up. Y'all live together. That is such a big move to make. I'm like, why do you have such bad communication with somebody that you live with?
Well, and it doesn't even, when you said that like, I didn't even really give him much time to explain. Like, you didn't need an explanation to just move out or do any of this stuff. And like, to me, that is not the thought process or the actions of someone who wouldn't believe that this person would do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that there's anything wrong with giving him a chance to explain, but like also I feel like he hasn't said a word to you in like weeks post this thing. Like if he isn't trying to like explain or whatever. Also, wait, did you say that she sent a picture? She sent you a picture. If you hadn't seen the picture, what would you have done? Because if you just, based on the photo, if that like gave you a feeling, I'm a big believer in trusting that feeling and not squashing it or silencing it. I think like a trauma response or something that like brings up something would just be you hearing this and like your imagination fills in all of the blanks. But if you see a photo and you're like, I can tell, I sense something off with this. This looks, from how I know this person, this does not look platonic, then I think like trust your gut. But I also don't think that there's anything wrong with getting an explanation from someone at any point in time. And you can like change your opinion or choices that you make based on the response. But I don't think that like you need to have regardless if you want to get back together or not, or if you feel regret, like this probably should be a conversation.
Yeah. I think that if we're just like boiling it down to it, I think that you're wrong for not having a conversation first because it's somebody you live with. I think you should have had a conversation.
I agree. I think you're wrong for not letting him explain, if anything, just to prevent you feeling regret later because you have more information. But I'm also someone who, I need all the information.
Mm-hmm.
I love information.
All right. Next one. Hey, Eminem, love the podcast. I am 30 and use she, her pronouns. My little sister's 26 and uses she, her pronouns. I was wondering if I would be wrong to not get her anything for Christmas, but to get her kids gift. For context, my nieces are 4 and 2. She also just had a baby and my nephew is 6 months. She is not with any of their fathers, so she doesn't have much help. That's where I come in. I have become the other parent without trying to be. At first, it was just me feeling bad and helping here and there. Now it's full-blown turned into anytime she needs something, she calls me. She calls when she needs a break, when she needs to go to the store, when she needs money. I'm exhausted and don't even have kids. Between the free babysitting and lending her money, I feel like I've more than covered anything I get her for Christmas. Would it be wrong for me not to get her a gift. I'm afraid it'll just make Christmas morning super awkward, especially since I know she got me a gift because my niece told me. I feel like it's justified, but might be a tiny bit wrong, and I don't want to cause drama. I'm obviously getting my nieces and nephews gift. I even got them a couple extra from my sister so she doesn't stress about getting them enough gifts.
You are getting Aunt of the Year award.
My siblings don't expect to get gifts from me, like at this point, because here's my thing. Each of my sisters have 3 children, and I'm getting those children gifts. Therefore, if it was going to be an equivalent, they would all be getting me gifts too. And so it's not fair that I would have to buy 5 gifts per family and I just get 1 gift from each. Like, it's not fair.
That's like my hottest take is that, like, if you want to be, if like aunts or uncles or whatever, like if you want to be like nickeling and diming of like getting more than just the kids gifts, then every member of the family should be expected to give aunts and uncles gifts.
Yep. So I don't think you're wrong.
I don't think you're wrong at all. You even like thought about the fact that like you got gifts for the kids and even signed them with her name. So it would feel like, I think that like this to me is so like, I don't even think that like, this is one of those things, like if she was upset and a friend and someone called, if it was like your sister had called into the podcast and was like saying that they were upset about it, my reaction, and even if a friend in real life said this, I would be like, I totally understand that you feel like upset or slighted. You have to keep that to yourself because you might feel that way. That does not mean it is justified.
What I do think you are wrong about is getting gifts and just automatically signing her name to it without having a conversation with her about it, because maybe she did buy those gifts and then that would make things awkward. Or maybe like it would be a pride thing where it's like, why do you feel like you need to sign my name on something? And that, I think you're wrong. I think that should have been a conversation with her. Because you could have signed from Santa. It didn't need to be like from your sister.
Yeah. I just would have assumed that because the kids are 4 and 2, that like you might have already, that has been established that you already do that or whatever. But I think, yeah, without a conversation, that can be seen as passive aggressive, which I don't think, I think it's very kind and thoughtful, but yeah, that's probably one that you're the only person who knows how they're going to react to that. But yeah, you're not wrong at all. And you're a great aunt. I should know. We are also both incredible aunts.
So good. So good.
The best.
Best.
I remember when I had like posted about how I was like, had practiced the deer makeup for my nephew's like costume birthday party. And then it was like so early in the morning because fucking kids have the earliest goddamn parties. That I was like too tired to do it. And then I got there and I had like ears on. I had a whole like brown outfit. Like I was dressed up like a deer, but like, you know, still cute, but like it's an outfit. And not a single adult was wearing a costume. And I was like, oh, thank God. And I posted the photo and everyone's like, oh my God, no, like you want to be the fun aunt. You want to do that. I was like, you guys, I am a fun aunt. I did an entire scavenger hunt. My sister-in-law messaged me from my niece and nephew's joint Instagram account, their baby ones that they use to post photos for friends and family. And just like, oh my God, are people saying that you're not a good aunt? You are literally the best aunt. Like, I'm getting mad. And I was like, thank you. And I know it's her, but of course she didn't sign her name. So it does look like it comes from my niece and nephew who are 5 and 1. And I'm like, see, they love me. They told me on Instagram DMs. They said I'm the best.
Yeah, I love dressing up for their parties.
I would have done it in a heartbeat if I didn't have to leave the house at like 8 a.m.
Yeah, no thanks. All right, well, we're going to take a break. When we get back, we'll get into But Are They Wrong?
When your gut feels off, your whole day can feel off. Activia probiotic yogurts and dailies are a quick, easy, and tasty way to up your gut health game every day. They're deliciously smooth and creamy and packed with billions of live and active probiotics. Your gut is where it all begins, so start with Activia. Enjoying Activia twice a day for 2 weeks as part of a balanced diet and healthy lifestyle can help reduce the frequency of minor digestive discomfort.
Looking for a pickup truck to get just about anything done? Look no further. The Chevy Silverado EV isn't just the most powerful Silverado ever, with next-level towing capability and technology. It also offers game-changing versatility with the available multi-flex midgate and tailgate, which means Silverado EV helps you carry large, bulky, and oddly shaped items up to nearly 11 feet in length. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. Visit Chevrolet.com to learn more.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in places that could expose you to identity theft. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, their US-based restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
We're back. It is time for But Are They Wrong? And this is where we nominate a person, a place, or a thing. And we publicly shame them. We say how awful they are, etc., etc., etc. I would like to nominate, well, I guess I should say first, Oklahoma, you are safe this week. Sweden, not so much. We're coming after you. And not those of you, because of our three Swedes that we know from our Patreon, none of you are all lovely. But I would like to nominate Matilda Djerf. She is a Swedish fashion blogger, I think is how she started.
I saw this, yeah.
She has not been on my, I've conceptually kind of known who she was. I will say I did find it quite hilarious that the reason why she blew up really on TikTok was because of her hair. Because everyone's like, how did she get so much volume in her hair? I'm like, because her hair's not straight. It was people were obsessed with her and they're like, oh my God, I have to know her secret. I'm like, her secret is without a doubt, her hair is not naturally straight and has natural, the fact that it was oh my God, I was like, this is so odd. And she has a brand, I guess. They sell polyester oversized blazers. They sell, I think, probably a viscose or a rayon slip dresses, as well as bathrobes and, a white t-shirt. And this is a brand that, again, kind of popped off on social media and TikTok and blew up. And everybody was like, oh my gosh, style icon. And I guess initially why a lot of people followed her is when she was doing more fashion bloggy content, she really loved thrifting. And so she, I guess, would either talk about or the implication that she was aware of sustainability in terms of fashion. And then when she started her brand, a lot of people were like, oh, amazing. Someone who's super into ethical fashion and thrifting, starting their own label, it will be environmentally conscious. And I do think she refers to things as recycled polyester, which I'm like, okay, for sure. Recycled synthetic materials. I'm like, because the things that won't break down. Okay, oh, sure. Okay. Sure. And a lot of it is inspired by the silhouettes that she got thrifting for a $7 blazer. She's now selling a $7 cotton or wool blazer that she got from a thrift store. She has recreated to sell in polyester for $120. And it's just okay. So I never really dove into it at all. I also think as a white woman who has wavy hair, I think the idolization of other white women who do not have straight hair, then they style their hair not actually to be wavy, but they use that and then it becomes oh my gosh, she's so cool and different. I'm like, what the It's just, there's just a specific niche of that woman and it's not really about them. Usually it's about how people react to them that I find really fucking unsettling. So she had an article or expose. It's some media outlet in Sweden conducted an interview with a bunch of her former, I think maybe even a couple present, but I think mostly former employees and people who've worked with her discussing the workplace life and culture there. And it's absolutely atrocious. You can watch it. I watched clips of it. There's subtitles, translations, all of that. And this did seem to come after she finally started making or not finally, but she started making English content on TikTok. And prior to this, fashion blogging, she's not talking. And she's probably talking in her own aspects of that. But the worldwide impact that people are receiving from her is photos and captions. So there's not as much to kind of go off of personality-wise. And I guess she started making English content and people were like, she doesn't seem very kind. And that is blowing up in the US led to everyone knowing about her and then the desire for a piece like this to be written. So some of the highlights include when casting of plus size models and her just saying that they have like, your ass is too fat to fill this out. Like you look fat, you look bad. And then someone who's, you don't have enough of an ass to fill this out. And then the one that I find so wild is she had her own personal bathroom in her office, which as someone with IBS, I do not think is outlandish as long as you have space for that. Like when Mats and I like travel, like if we like went somewhere with like a huge group of people, I'm not going to share a bathroom. I can't have one bathroom. I will not poop. It will be so bad for me. So I will go out of my way to find places that have more than enough for all of us. So multiple people are having individual bathrooms, but that was not the case here. I think there's only 2 bathrooms and one of her employees used it. When she found out, she freaked out and then made them scrub the toilet because she found them disgusting that they would sit on her toilet and just like absolutely horrible and cruel and mean. And she did a response. So 11 anonymous current and former employees accused her of bullying, fat shaming, and being a literal quote, psychological terror. So she did issue her apology, which to me is just okay, guys, you caught me. I did it. To anyone I've hurt or let down, I want to start off by saying I'm genuinely sorry. When I started Djerf Avenue, I never expected that the company would be what it is today with so many team members and so much responsibility. I wasn't ready. She had never led a team or built a company prior, and she was over her head and let the pressure get to her. Under a lot of stress, high tempo, and naivete, I failed to be the leader and colleague I wished to be along the way. And for that, I am so sorry. I wish my growth had happened faster. I really want to underline that I'm extremely committed to getting it right and continue growing. And she said that there will be like important changes. We're always working on improving. And then process of hiring a external HR professional, which means that this is going to be an AI bot. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be a chat service. Mm-hmm. And then it's going to go immediately to your email. And I will say that like we had talked about this or we had touched on this incredibly briefly on our Patreon live stream. And one of our Swedish listeners was saying like, oh, she is the exact archetype of this. And like there is a specific type of like white blonde Swedish woman that she was like, I can tell you from anything that this is how she's always been. And this is how she was in her Swedish speaking content. Like she was not kind, nor was she nice. And this is incredibly on brand. But I just have to say, the fact that she has people from her company on record calling her a psychological terror. Someone's 27 years old running a company. And she just goes, I didn't know any better to just not be a psychological. By the way, being a psychological terror takes effort. Takes manipulate, like that is like a choice. You don't just like accidentally do that. And yeah, I've been seeing people be like, obviously being like, I'm so done with her. And this shit was bad quality anyway. And then other people being like, it's none of my business to like be about people's jobs. And like, if you guys are getting rid of your stuff, like give it to me. Like, I love it. I'm like, what a weird time to be like thinking you're so anti-cancel culture. You're just like embracing bigots and assholes with open arms. So that's it.
Yeah, what a dick.
Yeah, there is and I say this as someone who, my grandfather was 100% Dutch. There is on TikTok, I find, especially with Sweden, I'll only speak for 2, for like Sweden and for the Netherlands. There's a lot of romanticizing these like quote unquote incredibly progressive countries.
Clean is a word that people use a lot.
And they'll talk about it when in terms of childcare. They'll talk about clean public transportation. They'll talk about all of these things. And it's like incredibly important to like look at the history of these countries and where they have stood in the world. And like, I think that like from like a 2024 American perspective, you look at 2024 Netherlands and Sweden and you think like, oh wow, they are so progressive in these things. they have incredibly horrific, racist, anti-Semitic, deep roots to that. And like there is racism that occurs on there, like still within there right now. And there has been this just like huge, very positive American who has moved to either of those places, just solely singing the praises of these places that like I had a conversation with someone where they thought Sweden was like Switzerland. Like Sweden never got involved in like anything political. I was like, what are you talking about? Like Sweden was like, I was like, no, that's like not what happened at all. I feel the same way about the Netherlands. And like, it's just like, just because like they might have free child care does not mean wonderful things. And also like when you think of a country and you only think of blonde hair and blue eyes, why and how do you think that it's that? And like, do you actually think that's the breakdown of the country? And if so, why are you only seeing that? And or if it is a much higher percentage of only people with blonde hair and blue eyes, also why is that? Mm-hmm. So just not here for the rewriting of like history.
Right. All right. Here's mine. Hello, friends and family, loved ones, enemies. I've got a chilling case of deception, of murder, and it all unfolded in the mountains of eastern Tennessee. This, my lovers, is the story of Nicholas Wayne Hamlett and the murder of Stephen Douglas Lloyd.
I feel like I'm listening to a different kind of podcast. I was like, a podcast. I'm like, my goodness, it's a podcast.
A true crime podcast.
Yeah.
So in mid-October of this year, a 911 call came in from Cherohala Skyway. The caller, claiming to be named Brandon Anraid, reported being chased off a cliff by a bear. He was injured, partially in water, and his phone battery was dying. The search and rescue team rushed to the scene, and when they got there, what they found was not a man injured by a bear, but a deceased man. Initially, he was believed to be Brandon, is Andrade. But anyway, based on the identification found on the person, that's who they thought it was. But then once they did some investigation, they quickly discovered a disturbing truth. The ID was stolen, and the deceased was not Brandon. The victim was then identified as a 34-year-old named Stephen Douglas Lloyd from Knoxville, Tennessee. Stephen has been described as a kind, helpful man who struggled with trust issues and mental health challenges. He loved the outdoors and maintained contact with his loving adoptive family, even when he chose to live on the streets. So the 911 call, the bear story, the stolen ID, it was all a carefully constructed lie by Nicholas Wayne Hamlett. Hamlett had befriended Stephen, lured him into a wooded area, and then murdered him. He then attempted to cover his tracks by staging the scene that there was a bear attack. Hamlett's motives appear to have been to steal the identity. He intended to assume Stephen's identity. Further investigation revealed Hamlett's extensive criminal history, including a previous incident where he planned to murder someone for insurance money. He also is wanted in Alabama for a parole violation. A multi-state manhunt ensued. Authorities considered Hamlett dangerous and potentially armed. The U.S. Marshals even stepped in and offered a reward for information leading to his arrest. The search spanned several weeks, with reported sightings in different states. Hamlett was eventually apprehended in Columbia, South Carolina, at a local hospital. The hospital employee recognized him from a wanted poster and alerted authorities. He had checked himself in as John Doe and was there for dehydration. A vigilante citizen played a crucial role in bringing this manhunt to a peaceful end. Hamlett now faces murder charges for Stephen Douglas Lloyd. This tragic case reminds us the darkness can exist within individuals and the importance of vigilantes and in cooperation in bringing criminals to justice. Thank you.
I love how this is somehow a combination of the whatever week it was when it was the man who faked his murder. And then when I talked about the bears.
Mm-hmm. I think it happened the same week.
It was. I'm saying
it was on the same. So it's a combination of both. Stop blaming the bears.
Well, that's the thing that I'm like, okay, what's with this brand new hating bear propaganda? Like,
right.
Where did this come from? Because like first of all, we had Smokey the Bear, we had Yogi Bear.
The bear.
Like I felt like bears
Yogi
were like crushing it for a while in the court of public opinion. And like, what do you mean now we're like blaming bear? Like, what's the shift? What has happened? Are bears woke? Is that part of it? Like, is there something that it's like, it has to be that? And I'm like, why? What? These bears have done nothing to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I also would think that people should pick something a wee bit more believable. And to me, it gives vibes of people who don't grow up in like areas with bears.
A bear chased you off a cliff and then you can still make a phone call.
And also, by the way, all of the park rangers know all of the bears in that area. And they also usually know whereabouts said bears are. And like, there's also all of this information about like, if there's a bear sighting at a campground, like everyone gets a fucking alert and a notification. So this idea that like you could be a victim of a bear attack in any way, shape or form without anybody at all whatsoever, like knowing, and it being like that just statistically is not nearly as probable. And it's also, you can figure that out.
But also like, if a bear is running fast enough that it can chase you off the cliff, it's going to get to you before you fall off the cliff.
I don't love a 911 call. That's not like, I don't ever want to listen to them. I would like to hear this one because was he running in place or is he?
Yeah, because this is a fake one. This isn't somebody that's actually.
But I'm like, is he
hurt.
calling saying, I have fallen off the cliff? Is he like laying down with like a rock on his chest to give himself that? Or is he running
falling off
as he's doing it? He's like, I'm actively about to run off of a cliff. Like, I would like to see it. I would like to hear that 911 call because he's doing Foley artistry at that point.
You're right.
You know what? It's always a man. Even in this case, Melissa, that's why they're doing it.
Mm-hmm. They're doing it because we picked the bear. And now they're like, okay. We've got to set the bear up. This is exactly what it is.
By the way, I have zero part of me thinks that I'm overreacting. I think that's 100% it. I think it's man versus bear. And they said, bet. Mm-hmm. We need to make bears scary again.
Yep.
Which I have to say, in the decade that they released the movie Cocaine Bear, that's not going to happen.
I forgot I went to the movie theater to see that.
Did you see it?
I did.
Oh, the way you worded it is like you arrived at the movie theater Cocaine Bear and then you regretted it and you said no.
I forgot that
Was it good?
Literally sat in the movie theater to see it. I think it's bad if you take it seriously. If you go in there knowing that you're about to fucking see bears on cocaine.
I think they've done everything in their power to make sure that you knew that's what you were seeing with the name, but people were still mad.
I understand, but one of the people that I saw it with was like, oh, this is preposterous. This wouldn't happen. No shit. This is not the actual story of Cocaine Bear was a thing, but this is not the actual story. Like we see bears like hanging out and like giving each other high fives. Like we know that this is an exaggeration. It is a comedy. We've got Elizabeth Banks directing this. Like
they
this
tried every way to tell you, but people still had that feeling. And the whole thing that I'm like, to me, it was quite obvious that as soon as there was a headline where it was like a bear did cocaine, everyone said, I'm sorry, Cocaine Bear is a combination of two words that is hilarious. Let's make a movie.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Because it hasn't, if you know the actual story, nothing about the story is the same.
No.
This is a comedy. I can't even say it's satire, but it's a comedy.
Well, it's like the Meg. Like there are sharks, but the Meg just happens to be the most gigantic shark you have ever seen. And it's like, well, this isn't realistic. I go, well, obviously.
No shit.
Wow. Well, thank you for that. That's fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say, man, there are better and easier ways to do what you needed to do. Have you ever heard of buying a fake ID? Did you go to high school?
Have you ever heard of just being yourself?
Or have you ever heard of a haircut, maybe a nose job, moving to a new city?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a new wardrobe? Have you ever bought brand new sneakers? Like, a new cologne. Like, there are so many ways, Crest white strips, to like change up the look. Put on a wig.
Hat on.
Or take a hat off.
Wig hat.
Hey, and if you're going to commit a crime, our favorite crime ever, please wear a wig, because that's still my favorite imagery of all time, is the person running. And they were so close.
They could have done it. They just had to get to that Denny's.
And I was rooting for him. So.
All right, well, that's the end of the episode. Thank you so much for joining us. This is our last episode of But Am I Wrong for 2024. It's been a good year for the most part.
The idea of like how many different things we have discussed, how many people, you know, if I ever feel like time is moving slowly, I should just go back and do a scroll of like all of the topics we have covered. And I'd be like, wow, Megan, no, you learned about a lot of things and a lot of shit happened this year.
But most importantly on this show, on But Am I Wrong? It's white Michael B. Jordan.
It will forever be the year, the decade. Like white Michael B. Jordan, I will be on my deathbed and that will be my final thought. I also did type white Michael B. Jordan into Google just to see if anything would come up. And it was him in white t-shirts. So if there is, I guess this man has never been seen before, because I do think we would be, if there was a white Michael B. Jordan, I think he would have been spotted. So attach an image the next time.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, and we will circle back. Goodbye.
This is a Sister Sign production hosted by me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melissa D. Montz, plus Diamond Imprint Productions.
Post-production by Coco Lorenz.
Production assistance by Melanie D. Watson.
And music by Ryan Hunter and Giacomo Picasso.
Ladies and gentlemen.
What are you doing?
What do you mean?
Just keep it simple.
I'm making the promo.
Just keep it simple. Just say, hey, we're the Brav Bros. Two guys that talk about Bravo.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're the Brav Bros.
No.
Oh.
Dude, stop with the voice. Just keep it simple.
I've seen promos on TV, dude. This is how you get the fans engaged. This is how you get listeners. We're trying to get listeners here. If we just say, oh, we're two dudes that talk about Bravo, people are going to get tired of it already. We need some oomph.
All right, then fine. Let's try to do it with your voice.
Brav Bros.
Good job.
Contained herein are the heresies of Redolf Buntwine, erstwhile monk turned traveling medical investigator. Join me as I study the secrets of the divine plagues and uncover the blasphemous truth that ours is not a loving God, and we are not its favored children. The heresies of Redolf Buntwine, wherever podcasts are available.
Listening to a podcast should be time well spent, and I promise it will be if you'll give this podcast a try. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in every episode I talk with leading experts on topics I know you will find fascinating. From why people can't keep secrets, what your favorite music says about you, why your pet acts in strange ways, and so much more. Something You Should Know is designed to give you information you can use in your life and give you great intel that you can share with others. I'm told it's a binge-worthy podcast, and with over 1,000 episodes, there's a lot to binge on. Something You Should Know has been ranked in the top of the Apple Podcast charts consistently for a long time. I know you're going to like this. I just need to get you to try it. Something You Should Know. It's available wherever you listen to podcasts.